7 o'clock, and we are here today for the North College Hill City Council meeting for Tuesday, February 20th. It is 7 p.m. We will start the meeting. Everyone, please stand for the prayer. God our Father, we are all your servants. We trust in your mercy and love. We trust also in your guidance. Direct the meetings of this council of North College Hill to make good decisions for all the people who live in our city. Give the members of this council wisdom and insight to know what is best for our city. Help us to be fair and just in all our decisions. Bless us all to be the very best we can. With your help and guidance, we pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Now turn to the flag, say the pledge. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I forgot to do the gavel. My bad. All right. Mr. Graber told me that he was not able to make it here with us today and asked that I step in as President Pro Tem. So you all are stuck with me tonight. All right. So Mr. Hedger, could you start with the roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Sorb?
Here.
Mr. Wall? Ms. Dukestein?
Present.
Ms. Alexander?
Here.
Ms. Brunner?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
Present.
Ms. Underwood?
Here.
Moving. Just give me?
Excuse.
Yeah.
I did hear from Ms. Dewald. I think we all were copied on the email that she was not able to attend tonight's meeting.
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. Underwood?
I move that we excuse Ms. Dewald.
Madam President,
Ms. Dukestein?
I'd like to second that.
I have a motion from Ms. Underwood and a second from Ms. Dukestein to excuse Ms. Dewald from tonight's meeting. Mr. Hedger, could you call the roll, please?
Yes. Ms. Sorb?
Yes.
Mr. Walden? Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Ms. Alexander?
Yes.
Ms. Brunner?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you, Mr. Hedger. Next, we have the agenda in front of you.
Madam President,
Ms. Underwood?
I move that we accept the agenda.
Thank you.
Madam President,
Ms. Alexander?
I move that we, I second it, excuse me.
I have a motion on the floor from Ms. Underwood and a second from Ms. Alexander to accept the agenda. Mr. Hedger, could you call the roll, please?
Yes. Zorb?
Yes.
Dukestein?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Brunner?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Underwood?
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you. Next, we have the minutes for the February 5th meeting.
Madam President,
Ms. Underwood?
I move that we accept the minutes.
Madam President,
Ms. Dukestein?
I'd like to second that motion that we accept the minutes.
I have a motion on the floor from Ms. Underwood and a second from Ms. Dukestein to accept the minutes from February the 5th. Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Zorb?
Yes?
Dukestein?
Yes.
Alexander?
Yes.
Brunner?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Underwood?
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you. We have our council committee meetings up next. First, we have, oh, you're right, sorry, thank you. We have communications next.
Thank you, Madam President. I did provide a copy to council, the Ohio Ethics Commission filing reminder. I do want to point out that the deadline is for May 15th. And this is your normal filing for any new or currently elected officials for 2023 or 2024.
And I would just like to add on top of that, when you miss this filing deadline, it's like a daily fee. So please don't miss the deadline.
Madam President.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Hedger. I appreciate that reminder.
All right, and now we'll have the committee reports. First up is City Community Development and Recreation.
We had a meeting, a We Thrive meeting on January 9th at 3 p.m. The We Thrive meeting was about a neighborhood navigator. A neighborhood navigator is a resident who can help Hamilton County Public Health make connections and meaningful relationships in an effort to create a healthy and safe community for all. And this job had a stipend with it. And I believe Annalise posted on the website so everybody can apply. And the apply deadline was February the 16th. So at this point, I don't know who that person is. I'm looking forward to meeting them and helping out North College Hill with activities and let me see, other things they do. They identify and recruit residents, businesses, schools, etc. Participate in community We Thrive, be a part of a large part of the community. And they have to do at least 5 to 10 hours per month to receive this stipend. So I guess you guys probably be meeting that person later. Next, on February 12, 2024, 6:30 p.m., the City Community Development and Recreation called a special committee meeting to discuss the conditions of the city center. And we discussed our visions that day and how grants could be beneficial. The bottom line is cost. The bottom line is what we're looking for. We're looking for costs. So I reached out to Ms. Eakey and Mr. Dieters to come up with the architecture or contract proposal or something to get this going. So she's going to get proposals from and consultants. And we're going to take 2 directions. And the first path is when she get these proposals and consultants, the first path, let me see, it's going to be to tear down the building and to build a new one, the cost. That's the first path. The second path is going to be what will it cost to fix the building back up again. So she's going to get back with us on those proposals and the consultants. And they got back with me really fast. And that was a good thing because we need to get this moving. We need to pack our patience. And it's a good thing we have a meeting place. We have a meeting place so we could come every month. So that is a good thing. So let's be diligent to get this done. And the next Community Development Recreation meeting will be March the 11th, 2024, 6:30 p.m. at the Senior Center.
Thank you, Ms. Brenner, for that
And that's
report.
it.
Next, we have, I'm sorry, are there any questions? All right, Budget and Finance?
Budget and Finance last met on February the 12th at 7:30. Our entire meeting session was an executive session, so we're not at liberty to tell those details, but it was in regard to the discussion of public employees. And we ended at 9:36, I believe. And our next meeting is March the 11th at 7:30, Monday, March the 11th.
Any questions? Thank you for that report. The next is rules and public policy.
Thank you, Madam President. We haven't met, I believe, since November. Our next meeting will be next week on February 26th at 6:30.
Thank you. I believe,
Hey, what's that again?
February 26th.
26, okay.
if I'm not mistaken, public safety is on that same path.
That's correct.
Thank you. Are there any ad hoc reports?
Madam President, I normally give the report for the North College Hill City School District Board. I did not attend in lieu of attending Ms. Brunner's meeting last Monday, so I will resume the report next time.
Thank you. I have a report from the tree board. We have, looking at my calendar real quick, we have a meeting tomorrow in this same room at the senior center at 6 p.m. And that is all. Any other ad hoc reports? All right, next we have the administrative reports. First up, we have the mayor.
Thank you, Ms. President. Couple things. I was able to attend the seniors' Valentine party. It was really cute. They actually even have put out a challenge to staff with their chair volleyball. So I immediately reneged. They told me how Ms. Lois, if anyone knows Ms. Lois, explained how they don't really start until late spring with their games. So the days that they're here is just practice. She said, if you don't practice, we're not ready. So I don't know if any of you would like to compete against the seniors in the chair volleyball, but I'm sure they'd love to have you. I want to say a thanks to council for jumping in with this situation with our building. I look forward to the outcome, if I can say that. It's really, we have a lot of potential here on what we can do, and I think if we just work together, I don't know if it's baby steps or if we're crawling, whichever way, so that we can get something done as far as the building is concerned. With that being said, I know the Historical Society, we've seen and heard a lot from them. A gentleman did reach out to me who actually runs the Price Hill Historical Society. And I did turn his name and everything over to Miss Iki to get in contact with him, because he wants to help to see what he can do as far as trying to relocate them and get them a place, whatever that is, whatever help he can offer that's available to us. The other thing I have, as we all know, prior to this building, when the seniors had it initially, the Board of Elections, you were able to vote here. Well, they're coming back. So now that opportunity has been set before us again, and we accept it. So they will be here on for the March 19th election. They'll come, the seniors aren't here on Monday nights when they come to set up. They're not here on Tuesdays, so it would not interrupt anything that they have. I guess one of the only issues will be if any one committee has a meeting on that March 19th, you may have to change it, or we can probably set you up in a room in the back, whatever your committee is, so it won't interrupt that. Went to the Frickers birthday party. It was nice to hear that over the 30 years that they've been here, they've sold over 10 million wings. That's a lot of chicken. It's a lot of chicken and a great service. We're happy to have them here. They had a birthday cake. I don't know if the bird's name is Frick or Fricker. So, but Fricker was there. And the last thing I have, we've started, I don't know if you've got to receive the email, but we've started to work on the quarterly newsletter. And I know one of the things that came up when we talked about it was if council had anything that they wanted to put in the letter. So if you do, I don't know if you guys can collaborate, because if you all put in something, it's going to be yay long and up the cost. So if you can collaborate, however, get together whatever you would like to see from council in there and send that over to Mr. Torrey. And that's all I have.
Madam Mayor, I have a question. Do you have any idea how many people are on a chair volleyball team?
So if my memory serves me correctly, I believe there were either 5 or 4 people, maybe 5 or 6 on each team. No more than that.
Thank you.
Madam Chair. How do we sign up? I say bring it. I'm ready to take the seniors.
I told him I don't want that smoke.
about to get
you know
beat.
what? If you would like to sign up,
They strong.
just maybe reach out to Colleen, and then she can pass your name along as one of the staff members to get whipped.
And then I had another question. Is there an update on the heat in this building?
I can turn it up. It works.
Oh, okay.
Would you like for me to turn it up?
No.
I'm cold.
I'm fine. I got my jacket on. There are members
But
that
it
said
does
no.
work. The heat does work. I think we just keep it very low. It's like on 65.
crazy.
Oh, okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Mayor Nichols, if we have anything for the newsletter, who should we send it to again?
Mr. Torrey, Ben Torrey.
I don't know who that
He's
is.
the administrative assistant. So it's B TORREY at northcollegehill.org.
Okay. Okay.
Are there any other questions? All right. City administrator is not present tonight. The law director is not present tonight, and the finance director is not present tonight. So next we have call of members. That starts with me. I'd just like to put a shout out of congratulations to retired officer Jay Manning. I almost forgot his name. And I don't know if anyone saw the news report, but our retired officer O'Neill, K-9 officer O'Neill, was diagnosed with cancer, and apparently it was like a $10,000 surgery, and they did a GoFundMe, and they actually raised all the money already, so O'Neill can have the surgery. And I'd just like to wish O'Neill the best. That is all I have. So next up we have Miss Dukestein.
I don't have anything today.
Thank you. Miss Alexander.
I'd just like to say that I had a great time at the Frickers' 30th anniversary or birthday party. It was really nice. They had live music. I never knew Frickers had live music. I don't know if that's a recurring theme, but it was really nice. They had prizes and giveaways and, you know, meeting people in the neighborhood. They had a nice turnout, but like I said, place to go for live music and wings now. That's it.
Next we have Miss Bruner.
I don't have anything at this time.
Next we have Mr. Davis.
Yes, I'd like to thank our public works employees. Remember last Friday we had a out the blue kind of unplanned snow event, and they still came in, you know, toward the end of the day or even on an off day. Roads was straight, everything was taken care of. No slip and sliding, no fender benders. So I want to thank our public works employees for going above and beyond the call of duty. And I forgot that man's name. I apologize. I will shout you out in the committee meeting. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Next we have Miss Underwood.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, I would like to say I didn't realize that Officer Manning had retired, but I would like to say congratulations to Officer Manning. I've run into him, or I used to run into him in the courthouse all of the time. And just congratulations on, and thank you for your service. And wish all the best to K-9 Officer O'Neill on, and hopefully for a speedy recovery. And I would also like to say that I will be there when Ms. Zorb and Ms. Dukestein play some chair volleyball to take pictures and laugh.
You are not permitted to stand. They already told me that. It's called tall. Okay, well,
That's okay.
Oh,
I will.
long arms,
I
we
will.
got 'em.
I will stand back out of the way. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Madam President, I just want to add, Mr. Officer Manning retired last year. It was like end of spring, summer, right at the beginning. He's been gone for a minute.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right. Next, we have remarks from the audience. Mr. Hedger, is anyone signed in?
Yes, Madam President. First, we have Andrea Brooks.
Please step to the podium, give us your name and address.
Hi, everybody. My name is Andrea Brooks. I live at 4 Beach Knoll Drive. Go ahead.
Floor is yours. Yep.
So I wasn't really sure if this was the correct venue, but now I think it is. I had a concern on my street this past Saturday, and it's happened a few times in the past, just about a noise complaint. And I guess I need some guidance.
Ms. Brooks, can you make sure you?
Oh,
speak to
sorry.
some- I know you can't hear it, but they're recording.
Sure. So I was mentioning that I had a noise issue on my street this past Saturday, the 17th. And it's happened in the past. There, what used to be the old racquetball club is Flock Sports Entertainment Center, the purple building. The address is actually Hamilton Avenue, but yeah, it's actually Hamilton Avenue, but it used to be the old racquetball club or Game On. And they've had several music concerts in the past. And I had reached out to, I guess the owner is Ray Davenport. I had reached out to him in the summer and let him about another issue about some trucks he had on our street, which Beach Knoll is a private street. And we had an issue with them removing a no trespassing sign and it not being, concerns about him being able to put it back correctly and secure it. But anyways, that was our initial conversation. And while I was on the phone with Mr. Davenport, what I expressed to him was, hey, there have been concerts. It's been a while. I said, but there have been concerts in the past. And I said, I can tell that I'm not into acoustics and things like that, so I can't tell you how to soundproof something. But I was like, my assumption is that this building is not created in a way that's where it's soundproofed. And I said, it's really disturbing when you have concerts. I know they had like a sneaker ball in the past. There were several artists, Music Soul Child. So my fear was that these are some, I don't know about the sneaker ball, but Music Soul Child was a headliner. So I thought in my mind, I'm concerned like this is going to be a growing issue because I don't know anything about cost overhead for getting an entertainer, a headliner in the city. Anywhere in the city of Cincinnati, let alone North College Hill, but I'm sure it's probably cheaper to go to a place like Game On than it is Heritage Arena or what used to be U.S. Bank Arena. I'm not worried about that part, but what I expressed to Mr. Davenport was the concern about the noise because it actually reverberates. You know, my house vibrates. So it's that bad. I can look out my window and see it, so it's fairly close. It's as close, it's a little further than my third neighbor down. So it's fairly close. And back in June or July, Mr. Davenport expressed to me, we're not having any more concerts. Well, lo and behold, Saturday, starting at 7 p.m., probably with sound check, found out it was a too short concert. I could see cars all night. So another headliner. So I'm concerned. And when I called Mr. Davenport at 1:45 in the morning, because I was like, if I'm up, you're going to be up. And he did answer, and we had a very polite conversation. And I said, I thought you hadn't planned to do this. Well, it's a fundraiser. I'm doing it for the city, for recreation, for the youth or something. is what he stated to me, that it was a fundraiser. I said, great cause. But again, we talked about this before. I'm all about great causes. But in supporting the youth, I said, but this building, if you plan to do that, you're going to have to make some changes. I don't know anything if there's permits are required, what needs to happen. But I said, Mr. Davenport, I didn't buy a home next to a concert venue. And he said, Ms. Brooks, it's not a concert venue. Mm-hmm. I said, you're playing with semantics right now, like it is tonight, and it has been. And you told me this wasn't going to happen anymore. He said, well, it may happen every 1 year or 3 years. I said, I don't want it to happen at all. I said, I literally am on the second floor of my home. I have on white noise, thunderstorms on YouTube, and I still can't sleep because I can still feel the music. I called the police before I called Mr. Davenport, the non-emergency line, to make a complaint. And it seems like after looking at an ordinance, there's some room for some education for the police, because the officer told me, I think there's a concert. Yes, we were managing traffic, et cetera. I said, isn't there something in our ordinance or a noise ordinance that says something about, reasonable hours? She was like, no, I don't think it works for businesses. I think we can cite them. I said, you can cite them? I said, I'd like you to cite them. Based on our conversation, there were no other details, no other information given to me other than it's going to be over at 2. So my assumption was nothing's going to happen with this. And again, I feel like because I'm on Beach Knoll, currently there's only 2 neighbors, but I asked our former mayor even in a meeting, planning council meeting, he heard it. He lives on Oak Knoll. So it seems like there's, again, room for education for the police. I need to know, I guess I need to talk to the police about, after reading the ordinance, apparently it's a minor misdemeanor. What do I need to do? Or maybe someone could follow up with me or advise me on what I need to do next, because I feel like it's going to continue to grow. And at this point, I don't believe that Mr. Davenport, there's 2 things where it appears that they were not truthful things that he said to me. One being, it's not going to happen again. And then the fundraiser piece. And I looked it up, Big Rod's 50th birthday bash. It was on Facebook. It said nothing about youth or sports, a fundraiser. So there's been 2 lies already. And so I just don't want to have to go through that again. And so if anybody has any advice of what I should do next.
Thank you for that, Ms. Brooks.
Didn't know we had an
Thank you.
entertainment complex.
Ms. Bruner, could you confirm that Recreation had no type of fundraiser going? Is that true?
I have, no, not to my knowledge.
Okay,
I've
thank
heard of no fundraiser at all for anything.
Okay.
President Pro Tem.
Yes?
President Pro Tem. I'll say, Mr. Davenport was saying it's a bit semantic. So, there's a daycare slash preschool across the street. I believe it's called the Elevated Excellence Academy. Yes. So I believe when he's referring to that, they're all connected. They're all connected. So when he's saying recreation or education, I believe he's referring to the school across the street. That is.
So that truly is semantics then. He's really playing with words if that's the case.
No, but if it is a
That's his
fundraiser,
His own business.
but it is a youth sports complex. Like, that's one of those things. I'm not intending to defend the indefensible, but that's one of those things. If I can facilitate better communication, where, for example, if we've got advanced knowledge, okay, that there may be events, or if there's something else that can be done to alleviate the concerns both of our neighbors and also our school neighbors and our business neighbors. I would enjoy taking up the challenge in helping facilitate that communication.
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. Dukestein.
I think our jam in it as council is just making sure that we turn it over to administration and building and code to make sure that they're following through with the process that they need to go through. I don't know that we can say no concerts, or I don't know. I don't know what the ordinance states in regard to that. So I'm not actually saying we shouldn't say that or we
It does
should.
say
I'm
no.
just saying I think that the right next step to hold them accountable for future endeavors is to turn it over.
Madam Chair.
Mayor Nichols.
Madam Chair, Madam President, I'm sorry.
Yep.
There are, the flock is set up as two different type of permits that you can hold. One of the permits being, it's like a A and a B. With one of the permits, you can use it for like sports. The other, it's like a fine line on the type of permit that he has. He does not have a permit to hold the concerts that he has. But there is a whole like group of people who have to be involved. And then if you can't get A to connect with B, then you can't stop the show. So, for instance, you have to have a liquor license to sell liquor. So I can't go in and say myself or a police officer, why you need somebody from the liquor board to come in and say that you can't serve that liquor. So if he's operating his business without the proper permit, then that's something that our code enforcement or our building inspector will have to direct him, cite him.
Okay, so it's nothing that I have to do in regards to making a noise. I mean, I did give
You
them
can
my
complain
address,
to-
and I called and gave them my address and said I'd like to make a noise complaint, but I didn't write anything.
So technically, in those type of instances, like the police can't shut it down. You would need, if they were under a particular type of code violation, the fire department can go in and say, "We shutting you down." So you would need the law director to cease and desist. It's like levels of different people to do different things. Like the fire department could go over and they say it's a code violation, but you can't say, what I'm getting ready to say is my opinion. I'm gonna make that clear. You can't go over and say you have 200-300 people in here, and on any given day it's 200-300 people in there. If you go over here on a Saturday or a Friday, it's 200-300 people in there top. They have the volleyball, they have the soccer, and they have basketball, they got weights. So you look at the cars, now Saturday, I heard about it, so I rode through just to see. There were cars everywhere.
I can see them from my window.
There
My
were
bad.
cars literally up to AutoZone. They were in
Yeah.
the dollar store, Valvoline, the whole back parking lot was filled. So now I didn't hear the music, but I don't live as close as you. And I don't know what time it would have started. So with the amount of cars, I know it was more than 200-300 people. So in my opinion, if you have 200-300 people on any given day, you can't shut it down for 200-300 people. But if you got a code violation, then it probably could, because you can only do in that particular facility building what you're permitted to do. So if I believe it's Ms. Underwood, do you know if it's an A or a B? I think, or am I thinking of daycare? But there are two different permits.
There are two different permits, Madam President. I apologize. I don't know which one Mr. Davenport has. I do believe, I think your first step, is Ms. Brooks, right? Call the law director. That's your first step. And his name is Bill Dieters.
I have his number.
Okay. Call him, get a result, and if you don't get a result, call him back and try to get a result. And if you don't get a result, call him back again. And if you don't get a result, come back and talk to us again.
Madam President.
I'd like to chime in for a quick second. I read the noise ordinance, and there is not a time stamp on that. It is any time of the day if you're disruptive, and it is a misdemeanor. So I would be surprised I'd be surprised that the police cannot shut them down.
So so that I understand how breaking an ordinance is, if it's a misdemeanor, then it's a law,
It
right?
is a law.
That's right.
So then the police, the police can go shut it down.
I think
Or
that's
cite
where
them.
the law director will have to chime in.
Okay.
I'm giving you my
Okay.
unlawyer opinion.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
To me, if you're breaking the law, you're breaking the law, and the police can stop you.
Madam Chair. Madam President, I'm sorry.
I think Ms.
You
Steen
can
was
go
before
first.
you.
I just want to say that there are two different type of permits. There's an A3 and an A2. So if you want to look up what those, there's an A2 permit and an A3. And there are stipulations in both, depending on the type. I believe he has an A3. I believe. Yeah,
He has an
he
A3.
has an A3.
And can I
So,
ask a
Madam
question?
Mayor, are you implying that that permit gives him the authority to?
I'm not implying that. I'm just saying that he has an A3. I don't know all the stipulations, what A3 carries and what A2 carries. I do know there are two and different ones that you can have for there from something previous. So there's an A3 or an A2.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms. Dixon.
I mean, Madam President, sorry.
Yep.
So to kind of shoulder some of the concerns that you have, can we ask Jennifer to follow up to see if there can be a conversation had with him about things like this so that we can preempt
I think,
laws
President,
or would you say?
Madam President, I think the conversation needs to be had with Mr. Knight.
Bill Knight. Okay. So can we have Jennifer do that, or should we? I guess I feel like we're putting a lot of work back on her and she's coming to us for help.
No, she doesn't have to look it up. If she wants to know what the difference is, by all means look it up, because then you're knowledgeable. So when you have this issue again, you say, well, he has a such and so, but he's operating on a such and so, if that is the case. It's not for her to look up. I will say that they are aware, and it is some things that are in the process. But there is a process to everything. So,
and can I address?
Yes, please.
So I guess I'm trying to carry some of the burden with you of your concern, but also address that they are a good business for us in the city. Maybe not on those nights particularly, and that doesn't alleviate or cheapen your concern, but trying to kind of have a conversation that makes them be a bit more responsible for how they use their noise and satiates you being at home and being able to sleep at night on any given night. Like, I don't know if that's possible to direct a conversation, or do you think that we're past that place?
I am.
I almost think it should be a conversation with the chief of police and Mr. Davenport.
Can I
Madam
say
Chair.
something?
Yes.
So I tried to be neighborly, as I did with Game On, and because they had bands, a drum corps, and I was working from home, and
The summer's coming.
Yes.
And that's when they do it outside.
yes, when they had international bands practicing, and I didn't call the police, just like I didn't with Mr. Davenport first. I literally went over there, asked tons of people, who's the owner, because there was nothing online to find out. Got the, I guess, the message to the right person, or no, some young man at the center gave me his information, left him a message. Oh, no, I left maybe my number. He called me back the same day. And I told him, as with the previous owners, I'm willing to talk to my neighbors. I'm willing to share the earth. Absolutely. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't want to, I understand, make money, do what you have to do, but share it and be neighborly. So I'm not saying, at this point, my trust with Mr. Davenport is broken because the sign is not fixed. The no trespassing sign that he promised would be taken care of is not. Let that go, didn't say anything. He also told me in the summer there would be no more concerts. When I talked to him on Saturday, he said, again, playing words with games with words to me is how it felt to me, saying it's not a concert venue. Well, it's functioning as one right now, whether it says it is or not, or it's zoned for that or whatever. So to me, in saying, well, we only do it every 1 to 3 years, that's different from the summer when you said to me that it wasn't happening again. So the last thing he said to me is like, well, we'll have to have it somewhere else next time because I can't get calls like this. And I thought, oh, well, you can't have a 5-minute phone call, less than that, at 1:45 when I've been dealing with this since 7. Sound check, I guess, was at 7. The concert on the flyer says 8, Big Rod's 50th birthday party, and Too Short concert. And I wouldn't mind, it is a Saturday night, but 2 a.m. and just the sound. It wasn't just sound. I can feel it in my house. I did everything I could, white noise, all of this, to try to go to sleep and share. And I said, you're going to have to spend some money and get this soundproofed or something if this is what you want to do. And I can still hear sounds in my backyard when people are, I guess, playing volleyball, basketball, whatever. People, which is fine. That's not at 2 a.m. And I'm sorry, it probably doesn't work. I don't know if most concerts go till 2, but sometimes, so maybe it's even the time, because I could probably, if we had notice, because if I have a party in my backyard, I call my neighbors. Hey, I'm having a party. I make sure I share with other people. So I'm done talking to Mr. Davenport. Someone else can negotiate. At this point, I've said what I wanted. If you're going to have concerts, hope it's soundproofed. Or 2, don't do it. I could say, baby, as long as it's over at 12, like that. But that's me. Just because I'm the only one here talking about it doesn't mean other people aren't affected. My neighbor couldn't come tonight. She works for a school and had a school event. So I'd be interested to know how many people actually, even feel empowered to say something just instead of white knuckling it, right? Grinning and bearing it. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, these headliners are getting larger. And I want to stop the momentum before it continues to grow. Because if I had to choose whatever it costs to run an event at the Flock Entertainment Center as opposed to Heritage, probably way cheaper. So why wouldn't people want to come here? And I'm sorry, I don't want it in my backyard. It feels like it's in my bedroom, not just my backyard. And I'm also interested in accountability because it's one thing to bring things up at meetings. So I guess so that I can check for accountability. Where is this going? I will call Bill, but I need to know so it doesn't get lost in a to-do list somewhere else. I don't know how imminent it is. I don't know if he's having another concert anytime soon. And I love his facility. I've seen kids in there, love that people exercise there. I don't mind them being a neighbor. I think it's great. I just don't want a concert at 2 a.m. where I feel the music at that level.
Madam President. Madam President.
Yes, Ms. Dixon.
So I heard you say a couple things, and I just want to be clear because I would like to help if I can. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I'll be able to, but I hear your concerns and I hear you're past a certain point. So you said something about a party notice because I don't know what's in lieu either. I heard Mayor indicate that there are some other things in lieu, and I know that tends to be like right there behind your house, a business district. And I live on Marvin and I have a similar they do fireworks every 4th of July at that park up there, and we just were going through council on our city ordinance having to align with Ohio ordinance for fireworks. Let me tell you, my dog hates it. I hate it because I can't function with my dog going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But I do understand that it's coming, so I kind of take some level. I give him calming medicine, and I'm not suggesting, but I am asking, like, while others are talking about it, can you be thinking about what might be, or you said maybe a cutoff time? Because I don't know what's in lieu, and if they are following guidelines, I don't want you unhappy. And I don't want the neighbors there because you're just as important to the business. So I'm just trying to get feedback from you and maybe collaboratively with your neighbors, like what could work.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms. Bruner.
Ms. Brooks, Too Short has a huge following. It does. It has a huge following. As I can remember back in the 80s, I think it was. I ain't telling my age, but they have a huge following. So you're right. They need to start communicating, because if he lied to you these many times, this thing is going to snowball. And it's going to get bigger. And it's no telling who else is going to show up there. So I agree with you. It's going to snowball if he lied to you these many times. So,
Well, I would say his lies were just. I realized that the summer conversation was not honest. The way he was talking about, like, every 1 to 3 years. That's different from where it won't happen again. So misspoke. You maybe didn't do it intentionally, but. And if you're running a business, maybe you don't care about that one person because you got bigger fish to fry. And I just am making noise because I want you to care about me, Mr. Davenport. I want you to care that I didn't buy my house next to a concert venue.
Exactly. And you don't need to be up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Time might be an issue, but like you say, that's more of a party at 2 a.m. It's more of a celebration. Like you say, I don't know how late concerts go now. I hadn't been to one forever, but
I've been to lots, and they don't last till 2. They're probably over at midnight.
Right, exactly. So
And-
you're right. Yeah, could get with Miss Dukestein or either one of us. I know you have my number, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Yes.
Yeah,
appreciate
I'd
it.
like to put this subject to rest.
Thanks.
What I'd like to say in closing is, you have my number. If you would like me to try to set up an appointment with you and the police chief, let me know, and I'll see if I can facilitate that.
I'm saying right now, yes, please.
All right.
Mr. Davis.
Thank you for sending me the ordinance. By the way, it is 509.11, excessive noise disturbances. And everything I read checks all of the boxes. And you're right, there are no times. But thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's no
Thank you.
time.
All right. All right, Mr. Edgers, anyone else signed in?
Yes, Madam President. And we have Peg Albert.
Thank you.
I just have a couple questions about the building closure. So when my group gets together on Saturday, I can give them accurate information, because I'm afraid some inaccurate information has gotten out and I want to correct it. And it's not from you guys, it's from us. At this point, my understanding is the building is closed. It is not condemned, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. And then someone asked, will insurance cover the cost if it's decided that the building can be repaired?
We are still carrying the same insurance we had prior. The insurance has not lapsed. We are still carrying the same insurance.
Okay. Because somebody had said, I don't know how this works, but that in some places there are certain problems that are not covered. And I guess that's probably more like in flood areas. You can't get flood insurance and
Right.
that kind of thing. So I'm guessing then that the insurance you have would cover taking care of the building.
Can you
As
be
far as
more specific
repairs.
As far as fixing the building?
Yeah,
The
right.
insurance is not going to pay to fix the
Oh.
roof and stuff like that. Is that what you're
Or
asking
fix
me?
the
I'm not sure.
mold, whatever.
I don't know that I know that
Oh.
answer, but
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
I can
okay.
try to find out. I don't know that I know that answer.
Okay. And then kind of what the process is. I guess I understand, Ms. Brunner, through your group, that this is on your agenda. As you said that the options were tearing down the building or finding out the cost to repair.
Yes, Plan A was to tear down the building and to build a new one.
Right,
To
okay.
get a cost to that one, or repair the building so we can get back in it. So it's a Plan A and a Plan B.
Right, right.
So right now, we're trying to get proposals from contractors or consultants to start that process.
Okay.
So at this point, we don't know what we're gonna do.
Right, right.
'Cause
And then, so then would
cost.
that then come back to council? And then you'd vote on which,
I believe so, yes.
okay.
Yes.
And then, so I know, that's going to take time. And I just have to tell everybody,
Pack your
you'd have to be
patience.
patient.
Pack them.
So,
To be more specific, though, I think, I don't know where the line is, but council would have to approve the money to do
I'm
either
sure. Oh,
way.
yeah,
So I
of
guess
course.
That's
Yeah.
kind of where our authority begins and ends, I think.
oh,
I think administration would probably look at both options and make a recommendation, and then we would vote accordingly.
okay. All right.
We control the purse strings.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. I hope that helped. And I will check on the mold and the insurance part, and I'll get back to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hedger, is anyone else signed in?
No, Madam President.
Thank you.
Cost.
Next, we have legislation. Mr. Hedger?
Thank you, Madam President. We have third reading resolution number 2, 2024, resolution authorizing participation in ODOT road salt contracts awarded in 2024 and declaring an emergency.
Madam President,
Ms. Underwood?
I move that we adopt Resolution 2-2024.
Madam President,
Ms. Dukes-Dean?
I move that I'm sorry, I don't move anything. I would like to second the move of Resolution 2, 2024.
Did that too, so I was moving stuff.
All right. I have a motion on the floor from Ms. Underwood and a second from Ms. Dukes-Dean to adopt Resolution number 2, 2024, a resolution authorizing participation in the ODOT road salt contracts awarded in 2024 and declaring an emergency. Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Zorn,
Yes.
Ms. Dukes-Dean,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Brunner,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you. Mr. Hedger, do we have any, I'm sorry. Are there any further remarks from the audience as it pertains to the legislation we just passed? Nope. All right, we'll move on to old business. How about new business?
Madam President,
16.
it's actually kind of quantifies as old business, but we can slide it in new. I'm curious, based on something that she said, our insurance would possibly be able, we'd have to quantify what happened to the building. We've all assumed that because we didn't get that other side repaired, that's why we have mold due to water leakage. But that doesn't, we probably should ask our city administrator to have an evaluation as to why we have the mold. Because if it is actually like some damage from something, our insurance probably would be liable to cover that.
So is that something you're going to follow up with the city administrator? Or do you?
Yeah,
or
I
do
can
you
do
want me
that.
to do that, or
No, I can do that.
Okay.
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. Dukes-Dean.
I'll follow up on that, but I think when Ms. Brunner was talking about it, she was saying we had given her directives. So I just would like to add that to the list is what I was trying to say. But I can follow up. I'll
that's-
shoot an email back out.
I was only asking for clarification. I wasn't asking for, to put it on you. Ms. Bruner, could you please add that to possibly your list?
Okay.
Maybe it's Plan C.
Yeah. That works.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Ms. Peg, you may have just saved the city center.
Oh, I had it. Thank you, Miss Peggy.
All right. Do we have any other new business?
Well, Madam President, now have any RFPs been posted regarding worker asking about these upcoming city center proposals? Okay.
I don't believe we're that far in the process.
Okay. And when
I'm still writing them.
when those happen, where would one be able to find those?
I think we have to post them in the newspaper. Miss Iki would know for sure. I don't know.
Okay.
Any other new business? Hearing none. Who wants to steal my thunder?
Madam President,
You're too slow on the phone. Ms. Dukestein.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Madam President,
Ms. Underwood.
I'll second that.
I have a motion from Ms. Dukestein and a second from Ms. Underwood to adjourn tonight's meeting. Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Dukestein,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Brunner,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0.
Awesome. This meeting is closed at 7:57.